Well, my guest is here. Hey, hey. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. I'm not seeing what is going on, but welcome. Hey, there we go. Okay. I got nervous for a minute. Thought that maybe I was on the wrong Instagram. Okay. Hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome to week 14 of Get Sauced. I'm Rob Ruggiero, and this is not the final Get Sauce, because we have a big family dinner next week that I'll tell you about, but in terms of Instagram Live, we're going to take a break for the rest of the summer so we can dig into all the planning, but we're coming back in the fall, so welcome. I always do a little what's going on. Oh my God, okay, this is a little treat for my staff that's watching. Hi, Ann. So I'm gonna move the camera because they wanted me to do this all the time to show you what I'm making. I'm making sauce. So there you go. I'm literally making sauce for the 14th episode. So I moved the camera, staff. They're going to be really happy. Okay. So, and I'm having Kettle One cucumber mint. You know, I love my vodka. And I muddled some cucumber in it. So you're going to see a little pink cucumber mint martini. In honor of my guest, something a little summery and special. So cheers. Okay, so happy you're here. I'm gonna get him on so we can get started. All right, my guest tonight is an actor, a screenwriter, and a filmmaker. All right, stand by because I'm gonna pull you on soon. His many fans love him for his work in the Marvel Universe on the shows Daredevil and The Punisher. We at Theater Rex Hartford love him for him having graced our stage 3 times, almost 4, in Brokology, God of Carnage, and The Motherfucker with the Hat. And we're going to get to that because there's a story there. And I'm going to try to get him on now. Here he comes. Please welcome the lovely, warm, generous, and can I say it, very handsome, Royce Johnson. There he is.
Yes, yes. Let me adjust. What's going on, brother?
Hey, welcome.
Thanks for having me, man.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm quarantining, staying safe, washing my hands, wearing the face mask. I'm doing everything you guys are doing, binge watching, doing it all, bro.
Oh God, what are you
rereading scripts that I couldn't read before?
What are you binge watching? Oh, my staff is all excited to see
Well, I
you.
just finished Ozark. Did you watch Ozark?
Hey, I haven't watched it. I hear it's really good, but you sound a little soft. You seem a little further away than our tests and a little softer. I want to make sure I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Nah, yeah, get a little closer. Nah, I can.
Oh, wow. We're a little intimate now, man. Oh, it's intimate now.
All right, I'm getting look at all the hearts you're getting. All right, so let's start there. How are you? You're in New Orleans. Why?
Yes. My mother passed away recently.
I'm sorry.
February, thank you. And I just stayed down here. The numbers were pretty high in New York, so I decided to stay up here, spend some time with the family, and it's been great. And I haven't went back to New York yet. I miss it. I love it. I miss the work like everybody else, but right now I'm just, healing with the family right now. Enjoying the sun. It's always great weather here, so.
You're getting a lot of love. It takes a lot. My family knows I lost my mom 3 years ago. It doesn't even feel like it. And it's, it never changes, but you learn to live with it. And I bet you were an awesome son, but I bet she was an amazing mom to have created you.
Super proud, man. Super proud lady. I mean, if that lady could walk around with a T-shirt with my face on it, she would have, you know?
Oh. Well, that's a good...
She loved
now,
her son.
New Orleans is your home. You were born and raised in New Orleans.
Yeah, born and raised. Yeah, I always say, you know, New Orleans raised me and New York made me.
Oh, awesome. I've never been to New Orleans, and you never invited me. Just going to say that up.
Oh, man, I got to get you down here, man. The food is great, man. I picked up some pounds, man, since I've been here. And good pounds, you know. Food that was just comfort to the soul. Food that me and my family would make, you know, as a kid growing up. Those memories that, you know, the kind of dishes that I can't get in New York City, you know. Cook from the soul, some good soul food.
It's awesome. Well, I want to make sure when I do go that you're there.
Please.
And because I want a VIP tour. And like you had an awesome assistant. We did a test earlier.
Oh,
Who was your technical assistant?
Oh yeah, my technical. It's my niece. My niece, man. We wouldn't even be on this conference call right now if it wasn't for her, because I didn't have any equipment. I didn't bring anything down here with me when I.
She's welcome to make a little wave appearance if she wants.
I know. Come on, she gets wait. Look, she's made it. She's made it possible. You know, it's because of her.
Thank you.
That made it possible that I was able to do this interview today. You know. So.
Cool.
Oh, you on your phone watching it? She said she's on her phone watching.
All right. Well, you keep an eye on your uncle. Make sure he's close enough to the camera and doesn't get too low.
You got it.
So listen, somebody asked me to ask you this, but I can't reveal who. And you can plead the fifth. But are you single these days?
Am I single these days? Yes, I am single. I'm single.
Wow.
Ladies, I'm wide open. Come on with
wide open. We'll, you know, we can connect you if you're the person of his dreams. Since it's so funny tell the story about what happened with your neck. That's the last personal thing. What happened?
Oh yeah, so you know, it was before the 4th of July, and my niece wanted to make this special shirt, and no one wanted to take her to the store to buy a shirt so she can design her own shirt. So I'm walking in the living room, and as we're getting ready to leave, she runs and jumps on me, like, you know, just hugs me, just like, thank you, Uncle, thank you. But she doesn't realize that Uncle is not 20 years old anymore. You know what I mean? And she's not 4, you know? She's 11, but she's a tall 11. And kids, sometimes they don't understand their weight, you know? And she pulled me down, and I felt the pull in my neck when she did that. So it took a few days for it to heal up with the patches and everything. And I'm feeling much better.
Good.
You know,
good. I'm sure, you know, it's funny how those things happen, but we're happy you're here, and I'm happy you're feeling better.
I am. I mean, you can go to the gym, we lift weights, we do all that stuff, we run, and something as quick and freaky as that could take you out for a few days, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Since you work in TV and film as well as the theater, because we know the theaters are like still closed pretty much. Right. We're closed. But film and TV are opening up. Is anything emerging or re-emerging for you, or are you still like the rest of us kind of, you know, it's so slow going, but it's kind of a good time to have a connection to TV and film, right?
It is. You know, my agency, they're great. They call, check up on me, let me know what's on the back burner. You know, we haven't signed anything yet, but, you know, I'm getting scripts every week to read, and I can take my time and say, yes, I'll do this, or I want to play that character. As before, you know, it was such a speed dating type process. You know, it's like, hey, will you do this? Are you available to do that? Right now, it's because of the shooting schedule and the pandemic, I have more time to decide which screenplays I want to do, or if I want to, you know, do theater or.
Do you know it's like a really good time? I mean, you know Tanisha, my producing associate.
Oh yeah,
went to school together.
We go way back. We purchased, you know, SUNY Purchase, White Plains.
SUNY Purchase. She's awesome.
SUNY Purchase, you know,
like we've been talking a lot about, you know, one of the gifts is like making a choice to not work from urgency,
Yeah.
you know, and when you don't work from urgency, that you really can make smarter choices, make
Yeah.
more thoughtful choices.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the gifts of this, you know, COVID situation.
Mhm.
But I'm happy to hear you're on board with masks. Where are you, like, just really quickly, like in your own like social safety circles?
Yeah. Yeah.
Masked? Are you a mask wearer?
Yeah. I'm a mask wearer. Not so much in the house or anything like that, or going down the block to my cousin's house because we got a very tight knit circle. But if I go to like a local convenience store or something like that, I make sure we got our masks. That's one of the things we check before walking to the car. As soon as we get back inside, we, like everybody else, wash your hands. We're constantly reminding each other to do that. New York is not New Orleans. This is a pretty gated community. Not many people outside, so we don't have to like social distance as much. In New York, I walk outside and there's 20 people on my sidewalk.
Yeah, right.
That's the difference. I'm pretty much in the country. It's quiet here. You
I
hear
saw
yourself walk and breathe here.
Yeah, I saw Tom Hanks on Jimmy Fallon, I think it was. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, the other night. But it was so clear. He's like, we have three things we have to do.
Yeah.
And if we all do them, we'll get through this. Social distance,
Yeah.
wear a mask, wash your hands.
That's it.
And it's not that hard.
It's not that hard. I mean, we can't sanitize the whole, planet. Just take care of yourself. Follow the rules, follow the protocol, and we'd be all right. They'll find a vaccine soon, and hopefully this will be the end of that.
And I have to, we had the COVID, right, situation, and then, the movement began with the horrible killing of George Floyd, the kind of current transformational work of the Black Lives Matters movement, and the anti-racist movement. Yeah. Before I ask you about personally, have you seen any shift in like what is brought to you? What kinds of roles are brought to you? Any kind of conversations that are happening as a result of what's going on there?
I can say conversations are being opened more.
Awesome.
Not as many roles. I don't think that's come my way, but I had a phone call like maybe days after the George Floyd situation from an old college buddy. We still talk every day, white guy, we were best friends in college, and he apologized to me. And I said, why are you apologizing, buddy? He said, I remember one night we were riding to the store, sophomore year, and we were stopped by the police. And I told him that the reason why we were stopped was because of me. And he begged to differ in that conversation. And he said to me, he said, Royce, I said that wasn't the reason, and you said it was, and I'm sorry for that. And I'm like, bro, I'm just going off what I was taught, being a black man in America and certain protocols that I must abide by when I see a police officer behind me. Even from you, at a certain age, we're taught this, okay? This is not something that just comes up in conversation. We're like, when the police stops you, you pull over, you make sure that you have your license and registration available, and keep your hands on the steering wheel. This is something that I was taught at a very young age.
Well, we're doing this Get to Work series of programs, and our first one, the question was asked, and forgive me if I'm paraphrasing it, but when do you think you went from feeling like a safe, innocent young boy to that fear, that transformation? I don't know how it was taught to you, but realizing that you had to deal with something else that no one else has to deal with.
I think it was my first stop and frisk. I was in the military, and I was in the car with my dad, and he had to run into a store right quick, and I was asked to pull over, which I was already pulled over. I got pulled out of the car, handcuffed, put on the car, wallet taken from my pocket without the proper protocol about asking me what was the reason I was being frisked, why was I stopped, This was not brought to my attention. So I was asking all these questions while I was being handcuffed. So right then, I had to be like 22 years old, 21, 22. Right then and there, I realized that I'm a man now and this could happen to me. I was told by my uncles, I mean, every black man in America has a stop and frisk story to tell. And if they don't have one to tell, they know someone who had a similar situation to happen to them. So I was asking all these questions, and the cops were standing by, and I heard on the walkie, I guess the dispatcher was like, "He's still here." The car just turned the corner. So apparently my car was almost the same type of car that the guy was driving. So they uncuffed me, let me go, and my father came to the car and he said, "Don't you ever do that again." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Don't always cooperate with law enforcement. Don't ever go against that, because they could have still held you for 24 hours to not, cooperating." So right then and there, that was my turning point to, this is real. Stop playing games. And I was very aggressive when they stopped me. I was young. I was serving our country. I was, "Why are you stopping me? You have no reason to be doing this to me." They were not speaking. They were not saying anything. There was no guns drawn or anything like that.
Wow.
But I was pulled from the car and handcuffed. And my dad had to witness that. And that was lesson one in teaching me that there is a protocol for being stopped by the police.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, first of all. I'm so sorry you have to carry that. Like, I know you as like the sweetest, funniest,
the nicest guy,
kindest, that's, I think we talked one time, and forgive me if I've also shared this to the viewers, but my only close connection as a privileged white man is I was the assistant director on Othello. We were in DC with Avery Brooks playing Othello, and I was sent with him to go somewhere, a costume fitting or something, and we were trying to hail a cab, and it was busy, and we weren't getting a cab, and he said, I'm going to go stand over there, and you get the cab. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Trust me, he walked like 50 feet, like he walked away, and he said, you get the cab." Yeah. I was like, "All right." He goes, "Just do it." He walks away, raised my hand, cab pulls up.
Immediately.
I'll never forget that lesson. And we don't have any perspective, and I think we're doing a better job, or some white privileged people are at least really hearing things, and we're trying to reflect and look at things that are painful and maybe uncomfortable and learn. So your story is really helpful, and I sincerely thank you for sharing about that.
Yeah. It was an experience I'll never forget. But like I said, I play a cop on television.
I was just going to go there. I was ready to go there because you play a cop.
I always like to say, not all cops are bad. In fact, they're some of my biggest fans. One bad apple shouldn't spoil the whole bunch. All we're asking is that, the law enforcement are just properly trained, that they're in neighborhoods that they're comfortable in being in, so that they're not afraid. Because some cops are afraid. They're scared too. They have fear just like anybody else. Walking up to a stranger, knocking on a car door window, asking you to roll your windows down.
Yeah.
That's scary. I mean, that's scary. But on television, I play a very matter-of-fact cop, police officer, by the book, straight edged, lots of integrity. I don't fold. I don't bend. And I like that to be shown as well.
Yeah. And I was like, someone I think said they're held accountable or something. But what's interesting is that there are more than a few. What we're learning is that there are more than a few bad apples as the stories emerge. And I do feel like it has to do with training and I don't know what it has to do with, so I don't really know. But but we have to fix this, and they have to understand that it's a lens, right? The servitude of the job, and there's a kind of militaristic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I served, so there's a.
Oh, right. So talk about that. What's the connection?
I served 7 years in the military. There is a chain of command that you have to be accountable for, and that's what we want. We want to be heard. We want officers accountable for breaking protocol. If I was in the military in Afghanistan somewhere and I, shoot a civilian or something like that, I will be held accountable. I will be court-martialed. I will be, I will have to sit in front of my chain of command and be penalized for it. So that's what we're asking. If you do something to break that protocol for a job that you signed up for, knowing the risks,
do you think if you, I don't know if you're doing more, if the show's continuing, or you'll play another cop someday. If you play,
I love playing cops.
Do you think what is happening and what we're learning will affect your choices as an actor, kind of playing the part of a police officer?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. The police department, I mean, they serve us, and they took an oath, just like the military. You take an oath. You don't just take the uniform off when you go home and decide to be someone else or whatever. There's a bureaucracy in this in law enforcement. So what we're asking is that we can clean shop. If you ever watched the first season of Daredevil, it was a cleansing of the police department that were on a payroll by the Kingpin.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So that was the whole storyline behind the first season.
I rewatched your reel. I rewatched your reel this morning.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, he's good.
and I was the guy that helped the vigilante who, Matt Murdock, who plays Daredevil, clean up the police department the first season. So I don't think that it would affect my choices in doing what I've done in 3 seasons. I just want to be that example that when you do watch a Law and Order or SVU or a show like Daredevil or any show, that we still know what it means to be a police officer, to protect and serve, okay? Yeah. That's their job. Even in the peaceful protesting, their job was to protect the people and make sure no one gets hurt.
Well, it sounds like you have a clear respect and
I do.
Really kind of anchored, and I can feel like I forgot that you were in the military so long, and that gives you a real kind of overview of some of these issues. I want to talk about TheaterWorks Hartford. We rebranded TheaterWorks Hartford.
What's going on in Hartford, man? The Hartford world, man.
Well, we
one more show there, man, and I was going to apply for residency, man.
You did 3, almost 4.
I did 3, almost four. But the reason why is because we got a television gig, and we had a conflict, which happens in acting, right?
It does.
There's always
you were part of the Royce Johnson, the Royce Johnson era.
And we got
to get you back, right? Which we will. But your shows, was the first show Brokeology?
The first show was Brokeology.
I remember you on that set. He's a young man.
What a show, right? What a show.
Yeah, that was your first TheaterWorks experience, and it was a beautiful production.
Well received.
Do you have any memory of that show?
I remember...
Tara Spain saying, come back.
Come back. I remember her, hey, that show, it was just an eye-opener for people who are very tight-knit with their family. Like, I'm pretty close with my family.
It's a family drama.
We all got responsibilities. We're all going to age and get older. And it was just a show about, a family that wasn't, well off or anything, and sending the younger brother to college, leaving the older brother there to take care of their sick father who was suffering from MS.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So it's about dreams, right?
Show. So well received, and the housing. Oh my God, thank you, patrons, and thank you, board.
Oh, well.
I think it had to be the best housing I've ever had in theater and regional.
Well, you'll have to come back then because
yes, I was laid up, man. You know what I mean?
It's even better. So
I was in the palace, man. You guys sent us home nicely, and the gym was like literally like next door to the housing. So thank you for all the amenities. And what was that the kitchen the kitchen we ate at?
Trumbull Kitchen.
What was it called again?
Trumbull Kitchen.
Trumbull Kitchen. Man, they knew me well in there, man. Friday night they had the live.
Well, now we have artist discount cards, which I don't think we had back then.
They didn't have that when I was
So
there,
they owe you a couple of meals.
Yeah, you do. You owe me, man.
So, and then you did God of Carnage, a great play with really interesting about adults acting like kids, right?
Yes, very infantile. You know, you see how adults can act behind their kids, you know? I think James Gandolfini and those guys did it on Broadway. Rest in peace, James Gandolfini. And I took his role. And Candy Buckley, the great Win Harmon. How can we not? Oh, my.
It was a really good cast. Candy's so funny.
Woo! I was still doing Brokology at the time. I think I was closing Brokology, and it crisscrossed because I was asked by Tazwell to stay and do God of Carnage. And
oh my God, I didn't know that.
I didn't have a break, bro. You guys didn't let me go. I was like, I thought I was going back to New York. And they were like, no, could you? So I was still doing my shows at night, and in the daytime I was doing God of Carnage rehearsal the first week. So that was interesting. It was almost like shooting the Punisher and Daredevil simultaneously, because I had to do that as well.
Yeah. So, oh wow, that's so cool. Well, I can't let this visit go by without talking about our biggest humiliation, especially, and I don't know, sorry for my language, like what the F happened, what the fuck happened, but we were under, a lot of scrutiny. There was an article in the New York Times when we did the motherfucker with a hat, and to be fair to the voices that aren't here, I wasn't there, but the fact that it happened, we're going to own and we're going to talk about next week. But you were there. You were in the room where it happened. Man. So we were, challenged by the fact that we had, this theater works, and I actually, Tazwell owned it, I believe, and it was a while ago. But we had a Black director, and two of the Latin characters were white characters. What was your first rehearsal like? like what did you think, man?
I was like John Travolta walking back into, Theater Works Hartford, because I had done 2 shows there. So this was my 3rd show. So I was familiar with the lay of the land and everything. So I'm walking down the lobby, and I walk into the rehearsal space, and I'm shaking hands. The music's playing. It's the first day. Taz and I have done 2 shows together. And
Royce, welcome back.
Welcome back. Hey, man, I'm waving like a float, and I shake hands, and I meet the actors. And upon instinct, I thought they worked there. I was like, hey, how you doing? I didn't know they were a part of the cast. I met them, and I immediately paused, because when we do, I don't know if people know that in the beginning of the first day of rehearsal, there's a meet and greet, and we do some table work first. We do a first read through, and they began to sit down, and I realized that they weren't staff. They were literally in the play. And as an actor going to do a show, there's an amount of trust that you have with the casting people, the director. And I'm just a player on the team. I don't choose, who played what position or whatever. But this time was just a shocker for me. I'm expecting to see Latin actors, and I see white actors, portraying Latin characters from the Bronx. Now I live in the Bronx. Yeah, I know what the Bronx is about, and it just didn't fit.
Well, the first step, we're going to be doing some owning. You know, it's been really hard for me. My resistance comes in like I had nothing to do with it, but it happened at my theater now. You know, it's happened at the theater. It happens at other theaters. So we have to
address.
I believe now we have to unpack those to understand, you know, and I think in owning that and asking the questions, because you know, people make mistakes. It's when you don't own that. I mean, when you think about it now, and I'm sure that and also it goes into power relationship, right? Because you had a director. You're the actor. You had a director who you trusted. And they're so like, what are you going to do? Say like, why? What's going on here?
Right. What's my job? Yeah. I mean,
I know it's like if I speak up, am I going to be like it's? And now we realize we all have to speak up, right? We have to do it.
We have to say something. I didn't. You know, I trust Tazwell. You know, after doing 2 shows with him. You know, and as an actor, you know, I can't judge other actors. I mean, being offered a role without auditioning or competing, you know, I would say yes to the role as well.
And I have to, you know, he's not here, but I remember I have to give him this. He did own it even in the time that it was like schedule and who knows, and he should speak for himself. But institutionally that happens. There's a lot of, we can talk about urgency and schedule and choices, but, and it was a long time ago.
Right.
But still, it doesn't change that it happened.
Yeah, it doesn't change it. I mean, we had the honor of meeting Stephen Gurgis, the playwright. And
he ultimately came, didn't he?
Yeah, he came to see the show. It was just, you know, when you're doing a show or you're on TV, you know, there's a perspective that the playwright has in mind when he's writing a script. And it's, you know, I felt like it was just, you know, it was just insensitive of him to make that judgment, you know, to do that to the playwright.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what was it like when the New York Times, there was a New York Times article, you were, the show was running. Yeah. And obviously, but one of my last questions, like, what was the atmosphere in the room like? Were you running the show was running when that article came up? What was it like?
It was shocking. You know, the energy changed, man. We were having a great time because, you know, those were my teammates by then. Yeah. You know, we had maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks to go before the show closed. And I don't usually read, you know, the critics.
Well, this was an article. Really.
Yeah, this was an article. I mean, I was getting phone calls from LA, you know, saying, "Oh, you're in that production?" Or you know, I was going into casting offices. Everyone knew in New York about what was happening, you know, at Theater Works. And the energy changed on stage as well, you know. The actors that I felt were miscast, because it happens, I told them to move forward, you know, continue to be a team player. But I felt the energy shift a bit, where they were done and over with. They were done with the show. And we weren't done. We had a week and a half to go. The season wasn't over. We weren't at the Super Bowl yet. You know, we still have regular season to finish up. So I continue to give as best of a performance as I could give.
I think it's pretty big that Stephen came. And
yeah, I think that was great. He didn't judge us at all. He didn't, you know, he took us out to dinner, in fact. He saw the show and he left. You know, no more said after that. He wanted to see for himself, you know, how his play was just altered in such a huge way.
The best thing that can happen for us, and also what our industry, is that we dig deep and try and learn from that, so we move forward. So that's the thing that gets me through all the discomfort. Yeah, like I think if we own it, and I have to say, I have I have an amazing staff that is ready to do the work. I have an amazing board of directors that
Okay.
are like, they're doing this thing Tuesday. They want to roll up their sleeves and do the
Mm-hmm.
work. It's going to be it's a long road, and
Yeah,
it's an
yeah,
ongoing road.
yeah.
But TheaterWorks is so special to me. You know, I've been affiliated for decades.
Hey, I remember when I met you, man. Hey, I
Yeah.
owe you, man. You know,
Well, you owe me a show because
I owe you a show. See, people don't know that, man. We had never met, and I got your email, and I think Kathleen Turner had just left with her show, and it went to Broadway. And I'm walking down Times Square, and I look up, and I see your name. And I remember emailing you, asking you for 2 comp tickets, or 4 maybe. And you didn't even know who I was, man. I mean, you knew me.
Yes, I did.
We didn't shake hands or hug or anything like that. And you threw those tickets at me, man. And I really, really appreciated that dearly.
Well,
you threw them at me, man.
We know now. We know, yeah. But I love to work with you. You know that. We've talked about it.
Yeah,
and then you're like,
together.
well, maybe, but I'm filming. Well, maybe, but I'm filming. I'm like, dude. So
you gotta think about this, man. I've been on Marvel since 2014.
I understand, but you're a theater guy, and I get it. You know, TV is transformational for a theater actor. I mean, I wish theater paid like TV and film, but there are people like you who love the theater.
I love the theater.
And you love TheaterWorks hard.
I would rent a room there if they'd give me one, man. I love the theater. The pay sometimes just doesn't measure up at times. But you know, in between breaks, I would love to. We talked about it. We got to get a show together. And,
we do. And you almost did a Doll's House, which we were trying to crack that open.
I was this close to a Doll's House, man. We're going to make it work, man. We're going to make it work.
Well, you can, like, I'm going to have this this is a recorded record of saying you will come back. So what is it like being part of the Marvel universe? This is a world that I don't know well, but you know, we talked about TV and theater actors, and you got like this thing that puts you on in a bigger pond.
Yeah.
What's it like being part of that world? I mean, you're really good, and I watched the clips. Like I said, it's awesome to see the work.
Just finally getting the recognition that you think you deserve. You know. It's been a long road coming, a long time coming, and it's surreal at times to walk into a Starbucks and some old lady is like, I know you. And you're like, really? You know me? And I like to play a little game with them, like, where do you know me from? And then they will be like, I don't know where. Like, they don't know my name, but they know me. So...
What's it like, you know, I know you love theater. Is it like, what's it like to balance TV? I mean, TV always wins because the dollars, but what's it like to balance the TV theater hunger?
It's nothing like having immediate feedback when you're on stage. You know, the clapping, the interaction with the audience, feeding off the energy of the audience versus, you know, a light and a camera guy with a mic over your head, you know, doing lines. It's a big difference, man. You know, you're reaching a wide variety of folks on TV, but the stage is hard.
Communal. It's communal, right?
It
like
is.
People, audience don't do, you know, you're at a show, we do what, 40, 50 performances.
Yeah.
I think, I always tell an audience member, like, go to a show that you like twice. Because you can go to a show and be in a really connected audience. Yeah. And it's like an experience, right? The actors feel that, they feed on that, and it goes back and forth. And then you could go to one of those performances. Valerie Harper, bless her soul, used to say, sorry, Canadians. But she would say, oh, there's Canadians out there. Because they were like, or Yankees, right? Like non-responsive audience. But
but it doesn't mean that they didn't enjoy
it's really hard, right? The show experience is completely different.
It's just different. And it's different each night. You know, on television, you got a few takes. You know, you have to pretty much feel it yourself. You know, you can do 6 takes and maybe 3 of the takes went well, and then you're moving forward. But on stage, you have rehearsal time. You get time to play around with your lines a little bit more. It becomes more communal, like you said.
And you learn, the audience is really a character. We're going to miss that right now.
Yeah,
You know, we have to come up with other solutions. I think, you know, I watched Hamilton. Have you watched Hamilton?
Oh, of course. I've watched it twice.
I watched it. And
I'll watch it again.
I'll
watch it again.
It gave me a little bit of hope for the bridge because, you know, I did have connection. I was very touched in the section at the end. And, you know, I had emotion, you know, because it's nothing like being in the theater with other people with communal emotion and and that connection and that synergy. And that's not going to happen for a while. Or if it happens, people are going to be like a distance from you. So it doesn't feel the same. So, but we are pulling up our bootstraps. I mean, there's two choices. You wait it out, you know, and some theaters have no choice. You wait it out, you jump forward. But my amazing team, you know, I said, and the board is actually supporting it. Like, we're going to like expand our programming. We're going to go bigger and try and be creative with the obstacles. And that's all we can do.
That's all we can ask for now.
So we may be calling you this year, and you better remember this moment.
I'm writing it down. I'm taking a picture. I'm Snapchatting it. You know what I mean?
So are you working on anything at all these days, or just waiting for the right thing to show up?
You know, that's always the question we get asked.
Oh, I hate that as a director.
You know, it's always, what are you doing next? Like, as if the last thing you did isn't relevant. You know what I mean?
I love you. I love the honesty of that.
You know, so right now we got Crabs in the Bucket with Jeremy Pivens, Zach McGowan from Shameless. And it's my, you know, one of my comedies, you know. I want to tap my neck into, you know, being funny, not so serious, you know, because my friends always tell me, Royce, why don't you do more comedies? I'm like, I don't get cast in comedies, you know.
Can you say it again? Because I think I was talking over you. What is it?
No, I said, my friends always tell me, why don't I do more comedies?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't get casts in comedies. So I'm, you know, getting friendly with a lot of producers who are doing projects, and they're putting me in comedies now, you know? So it's about relationships. It's like you and I are talking right now. It's about a relationship.
It is about, right? And if for an actor, it's about getting pigeonholed in something. And it's so exciting when you get to do something that is outside the box, right?
Yeah, outside the box of typical Royce. There's Royce again, being a person of interest, you know.
Well, before I get to the game, because you're brave, I know you're brave.
I'm ready.
I skipped over this because in Motherfucker with a Hat, you did a nude scene. You were naked on our stage. Had you ever done that before?
No, when I got the call, Taz asked me, he's like, do you have a problem with nudity? I said, I don't know. I've never done nudity before. So I don't know if I have a problem with it. And wow, what an experience, man.
What is it like being naked on a stage, in our case, with 200 people?
I mean, the reaction from the audience. I mean, if people don't know what Motherfucker with the Hat was about, it was about addiction. And we know in this country, you know, addiction is a big killer here. It's like our #1 killer in America is addiction. Yeah. And my character is a sponsor to the other addicts in the play, inside of the play. And I get caught because I'm having sex with the people that I'm sponsoring. So I come out naked and it's revealed that it's me. I'm the motherfucker with the hat. You know what I mean? So coming out, the reaction of me being this good guy, you know, and then it's like a double-edged hit for him. So I'm revealed that I'm not such a good guy, and I come out naked. Now, the reaction, we had to pause and wait because people are like, Jesus, oh my goodness, you know. So we have to pause for a second. But as an actor, you know, being an actor,
some actors are saying that they have to, like, I'm the character, this is what the character's doing. They have to separate. But did you ever like think, oh my God, I am here, butt naked on the stage?
When my mom came to see the show, that was
oh my God.
time. I was like, I'm naked. I need to get dressed fast because my mother's in the audience and my uncle is.
Well, your mom, Tara Spain, just said memorable moment, because I think, Tara, I think this is true.
Yeah.
She was sitting next to
my mom.
Yeah, and I think she was like, he's like, this is like.
She didn't know it was my mom.
She was sitting next to your
sexy.
mom.
Yeah,
she's like, yeah, that's my son.
It's
different when you're a child.
If I was a fly on that chair, man, to hear that conversation go on, you know, and the fan mail that I got, you know.
I was just gonna say, you'll be happy to know it was a great success. All right.
I'm glad I was packing, no pun intended, but
we always end with a game, and we're coming up to wrapping up, and this is, we call it Deep Dish Dive. And
all right.
Lowdown on, it's a perfect segue, a lowdown on Royce. So these are quick fire questions.
All right.
So you need to answer, don't think about it too much, okay?
Just shoot.
What's your favorite color?
Black.
What is your first memory performing on a stage?
Motherfucker with the hat being naked.
No, the very first memory, like as a first time on stage.
First time on stage, my mother was sitting in the front row, so being able to memorize all these lines was my mind was concentrating on that.
But like, were you like, how old were you when you were first on stage?
Like
3, 5, 10?
I was 7 years old. 7 years old.
What was that? What was that moment?
That moment was make my parents proud and let them know that I'm doing something that I love, and let's continue.
Did you play a banana or a cow or a real role?
No, what I had was I played Judas, and we have Vacation Bible School down south where we go to church. This is where parents take their kids.
You played Judas?
I was Judas. I betrayed Jesus. Yeah, man. And
you're like the nicest guy playing all
a Christian, you know. So, and when it was over, they was like, "Oh, you were such a great Judas, man. I like the way you betrayed Jesus."
Well, you always got to cast a nice guy as Judas. What is one of your favorite roles that you've ever played on stage?
Favorite role was The Mountaintop, Martin Luther King.
I didn't know you did The Mountaintop.
Yeah, in Rochester, Skip Greer. Yeah.
Wow, it's a great role.
Great role. Took a lot.
What is your favorite costume you ever wore on stage?
Being naked.
All right, you're coming back, and we're gonna get you naked again. All right, what is your This comes from who gave me this today? Oh, Chris Bell. I remember. I was like, I need a new fun question, and he reminded me that the Actors Studio asked this. What is your favorite swear word?
Motherfucker.
Do you really use it? Do you really use it?
Motherfucker. No, I mean, I've used it once on stage, but I love that word, you know?
What is the craziest thing that happened on set during the filming of your TV show?
The craziest thing?
The craziest thing.
When we couldn't get our lines out because we were having so much fun during a dinner break. So when we came back, it was an intense scene, and it was close-ups. It was the three of us, J. Allen, Wilson Biscoe, and myself. So you got an FBI agent and NYPD, and we couldn't keep a straight face, and they kept doing takes over and over. So that was
wow. All right, we're almost done. What is something no one knows about you?
How much I love Jesus Christ.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Favorite food has to be steak, potatoes, green peas.
All right, steak on the grill or steak in like a cast iron, like on the stove?
Steak on the grill.
Nothing like
nothing.
All right,
it.
We're gonna do that for you. What role would you love to play on stage that you haven't?
It would be.
It's I hate that question when people say, "What play do you want?" Okay, is there a role that maybe you'd love to play?
I would love to play Othello. Othello.
Oh, I think you'd be awesome.
I would love
All
to
right.
play.
And the last question is, will you come back to Connecticut soon?
Yes. Yes. I would love to
Raise
come
your
back.
right hand. No, kidding.
Right. I love Connecticut. I love Connecticut.
Your class at Purchase was a literal revival. That's what I'm hearing here. What class at Purchase?
Was Scott McCrae?
I don't know. T saying your class at Purchase was a literal revival, maybe of Othello.
Oh yeah. I maybe did a scene from Othello.
Did you do a scene?
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
even remember your school experience at this point.
It's been so long ago, man.
All right, and I'm just going to end before I let you go by saying, before I say thank you, when we had not really video chatted till I reached out. And I opened up, and you had said to me, I'm going to just say this, you had said to me in a conversation months ago,
okay,
you were like, yeah, I'm like, what age are you playing these days? And you said, oh, like 28 to 45 or something. I don't know what you said. And I was like, 28? He's out of his mind. And when I video chatted with you, I was like, damn, he looks like he could be 28.
No, my college classmates always like, what is Royce drinking, man? What is he doing?
Yeah.
Like,
you're gonna have to share what your regiment is. Listen, thank you for your time. I know your neck's been bothering you.
Yeah.
I know you've been going through a lot. I couldn't be more grateful that you joined us on the show.
Thank you.
Please come back.
I will.
You have a home here. You know that.
I know I do.
I just want to say how much I appreciate that you opened up for us today, and thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
All right, I'm going to give you a call soon to check in.
Love you, brother. Love you.
All right, go do something nice for your niece. Ciao.
Will do. I owe her.
All right. Thank you all for joining tonight. It's been a pleasure to be on Instagram Live with you these 14 weeks. We are coming back, but we're going to disappear for a little while so we can do some good planning. But next week, we're going to be back on Zoom via Facebook Live for what we're calling family dinner, which is a kind of, we're all going to eat dinner, some of my staff, some surprises, but we're going to kind of process the last few months before we kind of go into heavy planning. So next week we have, oh God, I hope I remember this. Tuesday night, 7:30, we have Fuck Up Night, which we're going to own some stuff. And I think it's going to be real awesome. 3 stories, if those of you have come, and some Q&A. We have a concert on Wednesday night, and we have family dinner on Thursday night. And please stay safe. Remember, Tom Hanks, social distance, wear a mask, and wash your hands. God bless, and I hope to see you soon. Ciao.